Hey, what's up everyone? Adam here with Probably Got This, and today I'm bringing you my beginner housing guide for ESO. Housing is a pretty big part of the game, and it can be very confusing if you don't know what you're doing, which is basically a theme in everything in this game. So that's why I'm here to hopefully help you guys out while you guys do housing. My job, again, is to try to help you figure out what you're doing and to help you understand a little bit better of how housing works. Again, in this video, there will be timestamps that you can jump to. So if you already know some of the information I'm going to go over, you can just skip to those. You can look for that in the description. I will not be able to cover every little thing about housing, but I hope to cover a good bit of it. Also, I'll be giving away a physical collector's edition of Greymoor for ESO. A video will be out next week about how you can enter and win, so look out for that and look out for the details of how to win. Also, if you want to join my guild, comment me your username if you're on PCNA, and I will add you and I'll put you in the guild. And if you want to join my Discord, the link to the Discord will be in the description of the video. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into the video. So we're going to cover a good bit of stuff in this video. The things we're going to cover are the types of homes, how to acquire homes, what the benefits are of ESO Plus / furnishing limits for each of your houses, add-ons for the PC, the interface, items and blueprints, what uses do the houses have, and then a few tips before buying your first house. First off, housing is not something in the game that requires purchasing DLC or ESO Plus. We will get into the benefits of having ESO Plus here in a little bit and how it affects housing. But to have a house in ESO, you do not need DLC or ESO Plus. And if you purchase ESO or DLC, or if you purchase ESO Plus and DLC, you will not get a free house as well. Also, your houses are all shared between all your characters, so you do not have to worry about that. That would be really annoying if you had to buy a house, the same house on different characters, but that is account-wide, so do not worry about that. So there are multiple types of homes. The homes are technically called inns, apartments, small homes, classic homes, staple homes, and manors. But in the Crown Store, all you will see is just staple, classic, and notable. I'm going to go into more detail with this here in a second, but I just want to talk about the methods to which you can purchase houses. You can also have as many houses as you want. And I want you guys to know as well that in the Crown Store, you can kind of see the differences in crown prices of what size the house is. Like if you see a house for 500 to 1,000 crowns versus like 7,000, then the house that's 7,000 obviously is going to be a lot bigger. So just keep that in mind. So there are a few ways that you can purchase houses in this game, or you can acquire them. The first way is to buy the houses. Just buying houses with crowns in the Crown Store, which a decent amount of people actually do. You can go here and you can see the different ones to buy. Now, you will see furnished or unfurnished. You can purchase houses with furnishings in them or without furnishings, and they are less expensive if you purchase them unfurnished. And that's why you see the plus here. In order to see the price differences, you can preview the house, and when you get in the house, you can press the corresponding key to see the prices. So all you have to do is double click on the house to travel to it, and then it will show you the housing options once you go and preview it. If you buy it furnished, you can also preview what the furnishings will look like in case you're uneasy about what those would look like in your house. So you're not just going to buy like a random assortment of things. Like it has a set amount of furnishings that it gives you, and you can see that once you preview that in the housing menu. Another way to buy houses is just with plain gold. The houses vary in price of gold, but in order to do this, all you have to do is travel to the actual house on the map that you want to purchase, walk in, and you have an option to purchase with gold. If you have a great gold farming method, then this is the best way to buy houses in my opinion, because buying houses with crowns is very pricey, and I would not recommend it unless you have some crowns to blow. The other way to get houses is by earning them through questing or DLC or chapter things like elsewhere. Basically, there's a base tutorial quest when you start the game, and it's called A Friend in Need. And this is how you obtain a free inn house. So this is going to be the smallest house that you can get. But for the tutorial quest, seek out Cantheon, the Wood Elf housing broker. Look for the housing brochure in the bank for every major non-DLC zone city. You can also find him at the following locations. You can find in the Ultimate menu, you can find him in Aradon, Vocal Guard, and in Vocal Guard Manor and Treasury. Daggerfall Covenant, you can find him in Glenumbra, Daggerfall, and in the Bank of Daggerfall. In Ebonheart Pact, you can find him in Stonefalls, Davin's Watch, and in Irving Bank. I totally butchered that. Do note, though, before you purchase any house in this game, you will need to do this tutorial quest before you do it. But basically, this is something that you can get that's sort of like a starter home once you finish this quest. And so, again, you'll need to complete this before you get any other house in the game. It takes like no time to do this quest. But once you get that, you'll have your first little tiny home. It's like a little apartment, basically. But the thing I was talking about with Elsewhere and like the DLC quests are there are in some of the newer chapters, there's like a quest line that you do, and basically at the end of it, you get a free house out of it. And so there's a few of those in the game, and some of the houses are pretty cool. So you should check those out. Just you can find those on like ESO's homepage, or just by doing the Elsewhere questing through the zone. So that's another way that you can actually earn houses. Now, I'm hoping in future updates they give us more ways to earn houses like that, but right now the majority of them are just earned by like buying them through gold or crowns. Okay, now let's talk about the difference in each tier of house. And what I mean by that is basically each size of house. So you have like I said, staple homes, notable homes, manors, inns, apartments. They all have limits at which you can put furnishings and all sorts of things like that. So let's first talk about that. All of these things that I'm about to tell you are doubled if you have ESO Plus. So the benefit you get with ESO Plus is you get double these things. So for instance, the maximum item limits for furnishings, trophy busts, and assistants, mounts, or pets in small, medium, and large homes are the following. I'm going to have this up on the screen as well. So for small homes, you can have 100 furnishings. You can have 5 trophy busts, which are from the Undaunted dungeons. You can have 2 assistants, mounts, or pets, and 6 total visitors at a time. So you can only literally have 2 assistants, mounts, or pets. So you can't have like all of that. You can either have like 1 assistant, 1 mount, or like 1 assistant, 1 pet. So keep that in mind. For medium homes, you can have 200 furnishings, 10 trophy busts, and 3 assistants, mounts, or pets, and 12 total visitors at a time. For large homes, you can have 300 furnishings, 20 trophy busts, and 4 assistants, mounts, or pets, and 12 total visitors at a time as well. Now, the apartments, which are smaller than small homes, and inns, they have like a limit of like 10 furnishings and like 50 furnishings. It is not a lot. So those, again, are meant to like start you out with housing, but they do not have a very big limit. Now, the very biggest house that you can have is manors, and that's the house that I'm in right now. They range from basically like 3-point-something mil gold and to like 4 mil gold, and the crown price of these are usually like well over 10,000 plus crowns. So they're insane. This one was given to me for free. This was like a thing they were doing one time, which was awesome. So the limits for these are 350 furnishings, 40 trophy busts, and 5 assistants, mounts, or pets. And you can have 12 visitors in this house as well. Now, again, with the small, medium, large, in, apartment, and manors, all of those numbers I just said, so 100, 200, 300 furnishings, 350 furnishings, they're all doubled if you have ESO Plus. So manors go to 700, large goes to 600, medium goes to 400, small goes to 200, and then the trophy busts are doubled. The assistants, mounts, and pets are also doubled. Now, the visitors are not, except for in the manors. So the manors, you can have a total of 24 visitors if you have ESO Plus. So that's really nice. So let's talk about add-ons real quick. Again, I know not all of you are on PC, but if you are on PC, I'm going to go into a little bit with add-ons. Not a lot of detail. I will have a more detailed guide for those and for housing at another day or another date. But the 3 add-ons that I want to talk to you about real quick are Furniture Catalog, Magic Carpet, and Essential Housing. Furniture Catalog lets you look at all the furniture in the game and see where and how you can obtain it. Magic Carpet lets you go up and down kind of like a creative mode in Minecraft to reach certain places on the map or in your house that you wouldn't be able to reach. So that's pretty cool. And essential housing is a whole other beast that I can get into later, like I said. But the gist of it is that it gives you effects that you can put in your house, like auras and paintings and other furniture. If you look in the left corner here, you'll see I have 1 out of 2,000. That is 2,000 effects that I can add to this house. It basically lets you have more furnishings than 700 since they haven't added more space yet in the game. So it's like a nice little thing that you can add like extra things that are like generated by people or coded into the game that lets you just have more furnishings because, 700 is not a lot like for some people. So they want to have effects in their house and they're pretty cool. So I would definitely check out that add-on as well. Now we're going to go over the overview of the interface now and how it works. But you will have 4 tabs when you open up the housing tab, which is the equal sign for me on PC. The first one is placing. The second one is the crown store or purchase. The next one is retrieving, which lets you grab an item that's farther away in your house. And the last one is settings, where you can go in and change various settings in your house. So to start off, the place tab is where you will see all the furnishings you have. Here you can click on it and you can have a few options. Ignore some of these, like I said, at the bottom of my screen, but you can simply place the item. You can put away the item. Then you can see that there's a surface drag option on or off, which lets you drag an item right on the surface of something. And then you can click align as well. This will align it with the surface like you see here with the wall. Then you'll see a rotating tool. Then you'll see the rotating tools above here. Here you can use those to rotate them or flip an item. You can also enter cursor mode, which lets you turn the item yourself on the actual axes without using keys, and that's really cool too. So now you have the purchase tab or crown tab, as you see that you can buy furnishings for crowns. This is something if you can just want to buy them directly from the crown store, do it this way. Some are cheap, some are not cheap, so just keep that in mind. In the retrieve tab, like I said, you can retrieve an item far away from your house. If you don't want to feel like running over there and grabbing it, you can just click retrieve and you can grab it and it'll be in your inventory. Lastly, the settings tab. This is where you can give permissions to your friends or guildmates to be decorators or just be visitors. You can also set the default for whoever enters your house if they're a decorator or visitor. You can ban people. You can make your house your primary residence. Like if you have multiple, you can put, this is my primary residence. So whenever someone teleports to your primary residence, they'll teleport there. But you can see in the settings here, it's pretty self-explanatory, but those are what you can do in the settings. Now, let's talk about the items in general in your house. So there's a ton of furnishings in ESO, and to get these furnishings, there's multiple ways you can get them. You can buy actual furnishings that are already made from guild traders. You can get them from some of them from the world. You can get them from the master crafter mediators. You can also make these items at a crafting table if you have the blueprints. And again, to get the blueprints, you can find those in the world. You can find them by doing dragons. Like a lot of the Elsewhere furniture is done by killing dragons. And once you consume the blueprint, you can actually make the item in the crafting tables if you have the right ingredients and if you have the right crafting levels. There's also the luxury vendor, who is in Cold Harbor, and it's in the Cicero's Food and General Goods. The vendor will be there on the weekends from basically Friday to Sunday. The items sold here are very unique and very pricey, but they are they don't get sold every week, so they're really, really cool. So if you look at my Dark Brotherhood like stained glass thing I have here on the floor, that was bought at the luxury vendor, and I freaking love it. So you can also check him out as well in Cold Harbor. Now, making items at your crafting tables versus just buying the actual items in a guild store is a common thing that comes up with people and a common question they ask. So like, for instance, if you wanted to make like tables and stuff for your house, is it better to buy all the material? Like, is it better to buy the blueprints for the table and the materials for the table versus just buying the tables in general? To be honest, that is something you have to basically do the math when you go into it. So all you need to do is go to like a trade center, so like Tamriel Trade Center, or just some sort of way to look at the prices of the items you're trying to make and check and see like if the blueprint is not that expensive, but the materials, outweigh the price of what it would just cost to buy the item. Just buy the item, because some of the materials in this game to craft housing items are just very weird and odd. And so a lot of times it just takes a little bit to buy them. And sometimes, it's just really pricey to buy specific ingredients. But there are a few items that are, that get by that, that exception. But definitely just look at the item and see if it's just better or cheaper to make that or to buy the actual item itself. So I'll leave that up to you guys, but that is literally an item by item thing. So just do your research with that, and you'll be able to not just like waste a lot of money on like materials and everything. And then another way you can get some items with gold is there are achievement furnishers all throughout ESO. Like there are a ton of these all over the world. Almost every single zone will have one. And what they are these furnishers that give you unique furnishings to that are zone specific based off of achievements that you did by doing quests there, or just things that you've done in that zone in general. And so these are really, really cool. And this gives you an incentive to quest, because some of the stuff is like, you can get some trees or plants that are very zone specific styled. So like wood elf looking trees, or like, like swampy trees, and then you can get like cool like thrones and all this other stuff if you do the achievements for them. So these are really, really cool places, and I would recommend questing because you can actually get some of these that way. Also, you also have achievement furnishers with like battlegrounds, undaunted. So like when you do dungeon achievements, you can go to the undaunted enclave and you can buy furnishings there. You can buy battleground furnishings. Like there's achievement furnishings basically, everywhere and for almost every part of the game. So it's really, really cool, and I definitely recommend you actually doing the quests to get these and achievements to get these furnishings, because they're really awesome. And then I just want to talk briefly about questing items. So some items that you'll earn through questing again and doing achievements and everything. One is undaunted busts. So when you kill bosses in a dungeon for the first time, or on hard mode, you'll get busts, and you'll get other like statues of the actual final boss or like the second final boss. And these are things you can put in your house. You also will get these puzzle things that are collected through a lot of the DLC storylines. So there's usually about 10 of them. And once you combine 10 of them, you get something that you can put in your house. Now let's go into what uses do houses actually have. So they have a lot of very varying uses. One is just simply to have an awesome looking house. Like, I love my house. I think it's really, really cool. I think that, it's just a cool place to like do something different in the game that's not just like PvE or PvP or whatever. So that's one use. Some of the really big ones though are you can put parsing dummies in your house to see how much DPS you can do, and this is what a lot of people like to do. You can have crafting tables right next to your portal. So like if instead of going to a town, you can have set specific crafting tables. You can have basically every set in there if you want. You can have all the different professions of crafting in your house. You can have Mundus stones in your house that you can change your Mundus stone with, which is really good and good for your guild. And you can put bankers, you can put merchants in your house too. And then, like I said, with your guild, you can use your house as a guild hall. So people can come there to change their Mundus stone. They can come there to test their DPS. They can go there to bank or sell things or whatever, right? And so there's a lot of different uses you get from housing, and it's like a cool social space too. And I also want to mention that I want to make my house the guild hall for our guild, anyone that wants to join it. So I want to add a few more things to it, obviously, before I do that, but I would gladly welcome it to be the guild hall if you guys want it to be. So that is something I want to do in the future. Now, lastly, I want to talk to you all about a few tips I have before you buy a house in ESO, because you might be like, okay, so what house should I get? Well, first of all, that's your opinion and your decision with that. But here's a few tips that I will tell you before doing it, that some things that I messed up on that I wish I would have known before I did it. But to start off small. Take the apartment or in-house that you get from that tutorial and try to decorate it up a bit. and try to get a better feel for the interface of housing before you upgrade to a bigger house. Because like I said, the interface is a little confusing, and you really have to just get used to it and place items and just learn how to do all of that. The worst mistake I made was buying a notable home for 12,000 crowns first, because I had so many crowns saved up and I was overwhelmed and I didn't know what to do. But now I have a better grip on things and are slowly upgrading my houses. Another tip is, if you have a large house, upgrade things and work on things room by room. It helps you to not get overwhelmed, and it helps you focus more on each area of decoration. So like in my manor here, I have for the most part focused on the inside areas first, and then I'll work my way outside. Another tip is you can use some houses as staging areas. If you have a big one and you need to dump items from your inventory, just place it in the house. Now, again, you can grab your items from your bank or, from your inventory or whatever. So that is just, again, like if you want to stage things, if you want to see how it looks or something, have a big house, like do that and just see what it looks like. But that's a tip that I have for you if you have a couple extra houses. And then the last tip I have is, if you can buy houses with gold, like I said, please buy houses with gold. Houses are so expensive to buy with crowns, and you're going to just see that immediately. You're going to be like, wow, this is ridiculous. And so basically, I would just try your best. If you have some good gold making methods, try to buy houses with gold, because again, it's just so pricey if not. So that's going to do it for the video, guys and gals. I hope that it helped you all out. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I'll be glad to help you all. Also, again, you can join my guild in-game. Just, again, comment your username if you're on PC NA. You can also join the Discord too. Like I said, the link will be in the description. If you want to watch me play live, make sure to follow me on twitch.tv/BroadwayGotThis. I play at between 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's the start time on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And then make sure to follow my Twitter account, where you'll get updates for my new videos and just updates of the channel in general. But until next time, you all, have faith, be great, and decorate some houses. Later.